This episode of the Nerd and Tie podcast is brought to you by Point of Insanity Game Studio. If you're not careful and no clip out of reality in wrong areas, you'll end up in the back rooms, where it's nothing but the stink of moist carpet, the madness of mono yellow, and endless background noise of fluorescent lights at maximum hum buzz, and approximately 600 million square miles of randomly segmented, empty rooms to be trapped in. God save you if you hear something wandering around nearby, because it sure as hell heard you. These words from an unknown 4chan user introduce the world to the Backrooms, a mysterious place separate from the world we know. Since then, the popularity of the Backrooms has expanded into music, YouTube videos, memes, and video games. Now, Point of Insanity Game Studio brings this realm of mystery and danger into the world of tabletop role-playing games with Caught in the Backrooms. The core rulebook includes a skill-based character generation system, information on the various organizations and entities of the Backrooms, guides on how to create new levels, and information on levels 0 through 2. To learn more, visit caughtinthebackrooms.com. You can also look it up on Facebook, follow them on Twitter at POI Game Studio, and check out their podcasts at anchor.fm/eclectic-media-podcasts. Nerd and Tie is right now live at No Brand Con 2022 this episode, and we are doing things that we are doing. We're going to talk about Our Flag Means Death. We're going to talk about what happened at KuroshiCon, I guess, and probably a third other thing. I swear this will all make sense in the end. All right, and welcome to Nerd and Tie, the only podcast on the internet with a dress code that none of us met. Now that we are live and in person, we used to actually dress up for these things.
It's so hot today. You are lucky I am wearing a shirt at all.
Yes, I do believe that we are all lucky that is the thing that happened. You know, I can edit these. I can edit these. All right, so I should introduce us. Sorry, this is the kind of day I've been having. I'm Trae Dorn, one of your hosts. Joining me, as always, are Nick Izumi.
Sometimes Celeste.
Yes, and Gen Proc.
Yo, what up? I'm really tired.
And we are, in theory, doing the show right now in front of people. Hey. Hi.
Hello, people.
I can't 8 times the people I expected to be here. Absolutely.
At the beautiful Chula Vista Resort in the Wisconsin Dells. And I wonder if the problem's my microphone. Who knows? I'm going to have a lot of audio cleanup and post. That's what's going to happen here.
Unfortunate.
Anyways. It's been a month, guys. For those of you who don't know, we are at the lovely No Brand Con in the Chula Vista Resort in the Wisconsin Dells, and I am the convention director of No Brand Con, and we're recording this at like 9 p.m. on Saturday night.
Yeah. I wonder who decided to put us then.
Who is in charge of programming that we can blame for this malarkey?
Yes, this is my fault.
You did this to yourself.
I've only had one staffer passed out on the ground like a dead body in the staff room so far, though, so I think we're doing okay.
Yeah, no,
that's pretty good.
That's about normal, honestly.
It's
that's pretty normal.
Right?
It's pretty
I'm
good.
confused. It's Tasselhoff.
Yeah. That tracks. That tracks.
The people who know who I'm talking about all nodded, and everyone else is like, this means absolutely nothing to me. This is meaningless.
I just pictured David Hasselhoff, but with tassels. Who is definitely going to be my new favorite Pokemon of the next generation, Tasselhoff.
Yeah. I need to get that commissioned. That's very good.
He's the guy who makes the puzzle hunt.
I never directly interacted with this person, probably. And if I did, I'm going to feel real guilty in about 12 hours, so...
I feel like you have.
I probably have.
But it's okay. Anyway. So you went to KuroshiCon, huh?
I did. Last weekend was KuroshiCon at beautiful Northern Illinois University. It is a one-day event, and I understand why this time I went solo. Normally the three of us go, but Trae was planning a con, and Gen was getting ready for this con, whereas I live like an hour away. So I could go there, sell some stuff, and not have to pay for a hotel room, which is exactly what I did. So, KaroshiCon is a lovely little event. We've sung its praises before. I love going to it, and this was another one that was quite good. Masking was pretty common. People were respectful of each other. Lot of interesting cosplay, and art sales were pretty good. I cannot complain. KaroshiCon was one of my favorites. It's still one of my favorites. Friend of the show, KOR fan, wasn't able to swing by, but I know he's got some stuff going on. Karoshi is still a really fun con, and I love it to death. I always will. And yeah, it's still a good event.
This is the first time I've missed it in a while, and
Yeah,
I really
same.
regret not being able to go.
For what it's worth, it was, I don't know, it was just nice to, it reminded me of how much I enjoy cons. My partner had their artist alley booth set up, and it was a good con for making some art sales. Personally, I was able to cosplay in public again for the first time in 2 years. That felt really good, but what was really wholesome, this doesn't really directly relate to the con itself so much as I normally cosplay more obscure characters. And I cosplayed a kind of mainstream character, Shinobu from Demon Slayer. And little children, turns out, love Shinobu. And so, several times I was stopped because little kids wanted their pictures taken with Shinobu.
Well,
and that felt really good. It was really cute.
It's a cute character in a big butterfly kimono. What's not to love for kids?
To be fair, that's an international thing because there was a Shonen Jump. It wasn't even Shonen Jump. It was like a kids group conducted a poll of who do Japanese grade school kids respect. Mm-hmm. The overwhelming majority, number one, the person that they respect most is Tanjiro, the lead character from Demon Slayer. Number two, their own mother. Number three, Shinobu Kocho, also from Demon Slayer.
Wow.
And number four, by and large, was their own father. So,
Rip.
That is amazing.
Shinobu Kocho, better than dad. Just saying.
Tanjiro better than mom.
Tanjiro better than everybody. Yeah, that's
Wow.
who do Japanese kids respect? Tanjiro Kamado. Remember that, everyone.
I fixed some of our audio issues by switching microphones.
Ooh.
And now we sound better.
Yay.
Yay!
I may re-record that ad at home later.
That might be a good idea.
Yeah, that's
That game sounds metal, though.
It does.
I actually want to play that, bad. That sounds really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, this really, Karoshi was fun. I'm sad you guys weren't there, but take comfort in knowing it's still a really fun and good event.
Good.
Yeah, and especially since some of the other cons that we really like maybe have disappointed us a little bit. So it's I don't want to name names right now, but we've said it on the podcast before that there's another con that we usually have sung the praises of that just didn't quite live up to our expectations of it this year. So knowing that KaroshiCon is still really good, I really wish I could have gone. That's one of my favorite. Do you still sleep in the city?
I didn't this year.
Oh, that's right, because you went home because we weren't hanging out, yeah.
Yeah, because I wasn't going to record anything with you guys.
Yeah.
So it was just I'm an hour away. DeKalb is an hour and a half away from Janesville. So instead I just went home and my partner found out I hadn't seen the movie Miss Congeniality, so we fixed that.
I'm realizing that I just said sleep in the city, it's a normal phrase that everyone should understand what I mean when I say, did you sleep in the city?
you should probably give some context.
So, okay, when we go to KuroshiCon, we all usually stay at the same. It's a Motel 8, is it?
It's a Super 8. I
Yeah,
thought.
it's
Super
yeah.
8, Super 8, Super 8. That's what I meant.
Yep.
It's a Super 8, and at one point they renovated and they put on these giant like photo prints of like Chicago downtown, like over the beds. But you're in DeKalb, like you're not
you're not near Chicago.
You're not in the city.
No.
You're in DeKalb, but like there are these giant photo prints over the bed of like city skylines, and so it just became a running joke when we sleep in the city tonight. And it's really not funny once I explain it, but it has become the reference for sleeping at that hotel.
I like
you
the-
just casually, so you're going to sleep in the city tonight?
I like to hope, though, that, like, some of the people heard that and they're like, wow, I'm just seeing there's Nerd and Ty's Nick just dressed like Robert Pattinson Batman, like, sitting on the roof being like, I have to defend this city.
But like that's the beautiful thing about like, especially this con or like KuroshiCon in particular is like, we get up to some like weird shenanigans.
Oh, yeah,
Because
shenaniganery.
We go to the
like
Panera.
we do we go to the Panera.
We
which
go
is
to the Panera.
We go to the Panera, which is Panera for those of you who mispronounce it.
No, it's Panera everywhere else. In DeKalb, it's the Panera.
Panera.
okay.
Yeah.
Every other one of the chains
We
is
go
the
to the
Panera.
Panera. We record a secret podcast while we're eating.
We occasionally say words that are wholly inappropriate to say in a Panera, let alone a sponsored
Yep.
episode of this podcast.
And then we have a very slow race in the parking lot.
And
Of the Best Buy. Of the Best
of
Buy.
the Best Buy.
In our hatchbacks.
Yes. We were racing hatchbacks at like, 2 miles an hour?
A tradition that literally started.
While yelling at each other through the open windows
Yeah.
from our cars at each other.
Yep.
A tradition that literally started because one year at Kuroshi, it was the same weekend Rogue One came out on Blu-ray, and they ran out of the Steelbook at the Janesville Best Buy, but the DeKalb one had it.
Oh, jeez.
So I had to go pick up my copy
Yep.
of Rogue One.
And we all went with
and
inseparable.
everyone went with me.
Yep.
It was very
You weren't
strange.
going alone.
We just followed you while yelling at you down through rolled down windows.
You were
At
not
the
the
top of
rogue
our
one.
lungs.
I was not the rogue one. No, I was very much the rogue leader, dare I say.
But like it's like the little one-day cons. Like, yeah, you can just go for the one day, or you can stay over and just get up to weird stuff.
Get up to weird stuff.
And
go,
then have IHOP on Sunday morning.
Yeah,
go swimming.
and make a little like extra vacation
One time,
out of it.
Krista and I spent Sunday afternoon playing Pokemon. The year Pokemon Go came out, we
Oh,
spent
yeah.
like the Sunday afternoon like just playing Pokemon Go in their parks
Yeah,
because they had to.
They had
Yeah,
different
the
stuff.
closest
Different
we
stuff.
came to world peace before everything went to hell. Pokemon
technically,
Go
this
week.
was spring of 2017,
Okay.
so the world was already going. We were still playing then
Yeah.
because we're weird.
Nothing wrong with that.
I don't play anymore, but we were still playing in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
See, I stopped playing really after the gym system changed because I like the original gym system, but that's a whole other rant.
Yeah, don't get me started about the Battle League. Just don't.
I didn't mind that. Anyways, that's the whole.
That's,
we're
why
stepping
did
away
we
from
The
stop
that.
fall of
playing
Pokemon
Pokemon
Go
Go.
is not the topic of this podcast.
I mean, it
I'm
could be.
putting my boot down.
I mean, we could do like a separate mini-series about the fall of Pokemon
The
Go.
fall
Like,
of Pokemon
get really
Go.
in depth with it.
But do it like a
little
true crime
docuseries.
thing.
I'll replicate the Death of Daishokan image we did.
Yes.
Oh
Yes.
boy, yeah, that was an interesting podcast. Good thing no one listened to that. That didn't.
A lot of people listened to that episode.
That was yeah. Trust me, I noticed.
We're in the lovely Wisconsin Dells right
One of the
now.
lovely Wisconsin Dells.
Yep.
So Kuroshi is still wonderful, but you know what else is wonderful? This is my only segue, but I gotta say it. It makes me feel good on the inside, and Gen and I have both really enjoyed this show. We gotta talk about Our Flag Means Death.
Heck yeah.
I also really enjoyed this show.
Okay.
We
I
didn't know
if
that
you'd
you
seen
saw
it.
that you've seen it
I
yet.
watched
so.
the whole series before it blew up on the internet.
When
We
Ken
did
and I
not
were
know this.
When we were talking about it, you acted like we were speaking gibberish.
I did. I did not. I watched every episode. The moment I saw an ad featuring Rhys Darby as a pirate, I got excited.
Yeah.
I didn't even know Taika Waititi was in it yet when I got excited.
No.
You didn't know Taika Waititi was in it yet when you got. Oh, that's a bad comeback.
That's a really bad comeback.
Yeah.
That might be one of your worst.
That might be.
Because it was literally repeating what I just said. About myself.
Okay, pro tip. If you're planning on doing a comeback, don't just repeat what they say.
Don't just repeat what I say.
Do a turnaround
Yeah.
or
No,
something.
no, that's not how it works. Do we really need to go over this again?
Queen takes Black Rook. I made a chess reference. That makes it smart.
Stop. You're not playing the Queen's Gambit.
No,
Yeah,
we're
but I
talking
am a
about
writer for Code Geass now.
we're talking about Our Flag Means Death, which is
not chess, it's
delightful.
pirates.
It is massively historically inaccurate,
Completely.
purposely wrong with the history in some cases because certain ages just don't work. And the fact is that Steed and Blackbeard were way younger when they met than either of those actors.
Yeah.
But overall, it's amazing.
Yeah. Like, really amazing. And if
So-
you haven't seen it yet,
Yeah, if
go do
you're-
it.
If y'all aren't familiar,
All right.
Our Flag Means Death was an excellent little series produced
On
produced
HBO
by-
Max, yeah.
on HBO Max.
Just
Produced by.
who here in the room has seen Our Flag Means Death?
See, we need to
Oh
explain.
my
this.
God, listeners! You have to understand that I apparently have been living in a TikTok and Tumblr bubble because literally no one raised their hand,
No one.
and there are actual human beings here, including Sean Orange
More
of
than
Two
one.
Boobs Watch the Tube on the Nerd and Tie Network.
But I haven't seen it.
That
It's about
It's about
pirates.
pirates.
What is wrong with you people?
and Taika
Pirates are
Waititi
cool.
plays Blackbeard.
Yeah.
Sean, it's just more than meets the eye, but with pirates. There you go.
And Taika Waititi.
Yeah, like,
And Rhys Darby.
It's
yeah, like, just basically Megatron is Blackbeard. It's the same as that, yeah. I just got Sean to watch the show. Don't worry about it.
It was on my list.
So it is.
Watch the gay pirate show and read the gay Transformer comic. That's what I want you all to do.
So it is based off of the real friendship between I'm going to use in giant quotes between Stede Bonnet and Blackbeard, who were. Stede Bonnet was the gentleman pirate. He historically was a wealthy landowner who decided to just say screw it, buy a boat and become a pirate.
Mm-hmm.
And Blackbeard is, I don't know if you know this, a pirate who also existed very famously. And the two just randomly at one point, in real life, I think they were in their 20s, decided to like team up and just hang out a lot. And there are implications, and I'll let you figure that out as you watch the show.
Mm-hmm.
It is the gayest pirate show, just the whole cast across the board.
yeah. There's at least 3 defined relationships, I think.
There's excellent representation
Yeah.
without it being stigmatized, or it's amazing because it is an extremely funny joke, or excuse me, extremely funny show, but the queer status of the characters or their relationships is never the butt of the joke, which is so welcome. And I also love the fact that it's got this reputation now as just this really wholesome show, but also, much like More Than Meets the Eye, there's all this like pretty graphic violence and body horror.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
like
that one
Oh,
part.
yeah.
throughout the entire thing.
Oof.
So it's like,
Sword to the head.
yeah, so
Yep.
so it is absolutely not.
Yeah, I was
an
thinking of
all
the
ages-
toe.
I'm surprised
Oh,
that no
the
one in
toe.
this
The
room.
toe.
Oh god, I'm surprised no one in this room has seen it. Like I would expect that response if I would like mentioned Killing It, which I have watched all of on Peacock, and that's why I know none of you have watched that. It's on Peacock, and one of the 2 leads in that show plays Steed's wife.
Yeah, because I saw the promos for Killing It, and I'm like, oh, Steve's wife!
It's really good.
See,
It's one of
that's
the
the
2
other
leads.
thing that's great is like in terms of cameos, there are some, my dude Will Arnett, the great Tim Heidecker.
Oh, God, yeah.
Just some really great cameos throughout the show, aside from excellent performances, especially Rhys Darby, which frankly, if you put Rhys Darby in anything, I'm going to watch it.
I
So-
love the actor who plays Jim.
Yes.
They are amazing.
They're very good.
I follow them
and
on TikTok.
Another
and
part that I
have
really
seen
love
very
about this
funny
show is
videos
like
of-
it deals with relationships in a real way. It deals
Yeah.
with like mental issues in a real way. You know, it doesn't like pussyfoot around things, and it doesn't make light of things, which is really refreshing.
It's incredibly. It balances between graphic and realistic depictions of not just violence, but the aftermath of violence, being legitimately laugh out loud funny, and being completely sincere in ways that some shows can only aspire to be. I cannot recommend this show enough to people. Please give it a watch.
And also
Yeah.
Taika Waititi with a giant beard in a one-sleeved biker jacket.
in
Yeah.
a biker jacket modeled after Mad Max.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's literally the Mad Max biker jacket, which is really cool.
And 100% historically inaccurate in every single way.
Oh yeah, no. But it looks really pretty
what's
and really
funny
cool.
is that the gold dressing gown thing that
Yeah.
Steed wears, that actually is historically accurate.
Oh yeah.
He just actually also wore a powdered wig with it.
But yeah, a lot of Steed's clothing is not historically accurate, but it is very pretty
Yeah.
and very well made.
Yeah, it's
The show literally opens with seeing this dandy captain and these pirates who have trouble taking him seriously, and he decides the best way to team build is to have everyone sit around and design a flag for their pirate ship. And they have an arts and crafts circle.
Yeah.
It is the funniest.
It's so
is-
great.
It is so good. Please
all while
watch the
talking
show.
about mutinying.
All
Yeah,
while talking
all
about
time.
mutiny.
And
It's-
part of what stops the mutiny is some of them enjoy making the flags.
Yeah, it's a fabulous show, y'all.
HBO
At
Max
least check out
says-
the first episode. HBO Max, if you got it.
If you don't have it, get it to watch just this show.
Yeah, you can do the free
I
trial.
mean, sure, you
and-
could watch Batman, but screw that. Watch Our Flag Means Death.
Yeah.
And then maybe Doom Patrol. That's also good. But
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Watch Doom Patrol. Do yourself a solid. And Close Enough. Watch Close Enough. They're not sponsoring us. What am I doing?
Yeah.
No.
No.
Well, that's just true. Michelle Gomez is, in fact, great. She's another one who, if she's in something, I'm going to watch it. That's just a rule.
And that concludes the portion of the show that we had planned.
I don't know, man. Like, so.
Are
I've been
you
watching
ready to go off the rails?
I haven't watched this week's episode of Halo, but I watched the first few episodes, and it's weird how often Master Chief takes his helmet off. I like the show, but it's weird how often. Also, it's Porn Stash, and it just throws me off every single time he takes his helmet off because it's Porn Stash playing Master Chief. For the guy who played Porn Stash on Orange is the New Black.
I
plays
did
Master
not
Chief.
watch Orange is the New Black.
Yeah,
Well,
I was concerned for a second.
Google Porn Stash, Orange is the New Black. Make sure to include
I was
that.
about to say, if I Google porn stash, I will not be happy with the results.
I'm just saying, I would love to see some people Photoshop the actor's head from Orange is the New Black as Porn Stash onto Master Chief. I just want to see that. I want to see that Photoshopped. I need to see this because it's in my head and it's hilarious. I've been watching Picard season 2. That's been really. Did we talk about that
We
last
did talk
episode?
about that
Yeah,
last
it's Star
episode.
Trek 4.
Yeah.
It's definitely the most Star Trek 4 of any season of Star Trek.
I've also been watching Halo. I'll say, as far as video game adaptations go, it's no Sonic the Hedgehog, but it's pretty good.
I should watch it because I've read most of the books.
Well, it's its own continuity,
I don't-
so
yeah, I don't know how you
they've
feel about
diverged
that, 'cause
from
that's-
they've diverged from the continuity.
Odd beans.
It's like watching the Tenchi TV series after having watched the Tenchi OVAs and just going, "That's not how that's supposed to happen."
Or watching Eat Man 98 after original Eat Man, and you're just like, what?
Not to be confused
Or-
with Eat Man, starring Topher Morrell, where
Yeah.
he murders and kills Vink.
Yeah.
Or not to be confused with watching Devilman Crybaby immediately after watching the 1980s Devilman OVA.
Or the 1973 Devilman episodes.
And being extremely disappointed because Ryo Asuka lost his excellent haircut.
Yeah, that's true.
And beautiful sideburns.
Yeah.
This isn't a thing that I'm so
Giant
caught up on.
sideburns with like big pointies and oh yeah. And then they gave him the mushroom.
Then they gave him K-pop star
Yeah,
hair.
they did.
They turned my boy. They
turned him
turned
into a
prototype
K-pop star.
Kaoru into a K-pop star. By the way, yeah, I'm sorry, I just spoiled a manga from the 70s. But if you saw Evangelion, and if you cried at Kaoru, I got some bad news about Ryo Asuka for you. That's all I'm saying.
Yep. Sorry.
I just spoiled. Yeah, I'm sorry. I did spoil a manga from the 1970s.
And he spoiled an anime from the 90s. Jeez.
Wait,
Next,
from the
he's going to
80s, the
start
90s,
spoiling 8-Man Out.
2000.
Just look out. Just pure spoilers. Then Project A-ko.
Okay, wait a minute,
Anything
wait a
that
minute.
aired on Sci-Fi Channel 20 years ago.
We gotta talk about this. I'm a little ashamed of something. I've seen Project A-ko several times. That classic OVA got released on a beautifully remastered Blu-ray. It was not until I watched the beautifully remastered Discotheque Media Blu-ray that I realized the joke was supposed to be that her dad was Superman. Joke went completely over my head. I have seen this OVA several times. It was 2 months ago that I figured out that her dad was Superman.
If you can't hear, the audience is laughing raucously at him.
I didn't pick it up the first time I watched it, but I eventually figured it out. It
wasn't until 4K restoration that I figured out that her dad was Superman.
Spoilers for Project A-ko.
Spoilers for Project A-ko. I remember. Yeah, that one they didn't. That one is less embarrassing to not notice because, at least in the case of her dad, you see his little curly hair and he's reading the frickin' Daily Planet. This is on screen.
It's not a subtle thing.
It's not a subtle thing.
The main characters are A-ko, B-ko, and C-ko.
They're very creative names. Just.
You want to be embarrassed? I saw the second Project A-ko before I saw the first one.
Well, that's just a terrible thing to watch. The first Project A-ko I love. The sequels are, why am I watching this? That is what they are.
Counterpoint, if you are an old enough anime fan, nothing surprises me in watch order because guess what? Before fan subs, you had to frickin' take what you could get. Yeah. You know how do you know how many years it was before I found out how Chiriko from Votomes actually met those other doofuses he hangs out with? 2 decades. There's a lot of time is what I'm getting at.
I think at that point you could have just Googled it.
I could have just Googled it, but guess what? I wanted to enjoy Armor Trooper Votomes, which, by the way, holds up very good. I came in expecting, Gundam fused with Patlabor, and instead I got conspiracy theory laden, actually really good depiction of PTSD anime and the best 80s mecha thing that Sunrise did.
That just reminds me, I was talking to someone whose first exposure to Patlabor was the movies. And I just
That was me. I was that someone.
God. That's it's like an entirely different genre.
I don't know. Do people know that's actually where I got my Nikizumi name from?
I
was
know
a big
it is.
Patlabor fan.
I guessed it immediately because I was a big Patlabor fan.
I know because you told me.
I think I'm the first person who ever just knew
No, you were the
immediately.
first person who guessed because everyone else thought it was Lucky Star. And I don't have nice things to say about that.
Oh, I was just like, this person's a huge freaking weeb.
Also true.
I mean, but isn't Noah Izumi like living everyone's dream? They're a giant robot fan who gets to be a giant robot pilot.
Yeah, and she bonds with every animal that she runs into. Has long arguments about the quality of pizza. Looks good with red hair. Oh God, I just turned in.
Yeah,
you're turning
into. Yeah.
That was just me.
Yeah.
That was just literally me.
Yep.
That. So
Yeah.
So earlier today, since we're kind of going off the rails anyway, I had a moment where
There were rails?
there were rails.
We were on them?
Apparently.
Earlier today, I had this
Who authorized
realization that
I didn't sign off on that.
if my life were a TV show, I would be so angry at my writers because I'm not kidding about this. When I was in middle school, when I needed to just chill out places and hide from the world, I went and I hung out in my bedroom closet. I spent my middle school years in my bedroom closet. I should kill my writers.
Yeah.
Their metaphors weren't subtle.
No. No, they were not.
Hey, can I spin us back to HBO Max?
Yes.
Because
Sure.
Being here at No Brand Con has reminded me of a thing because I recently just acquired HBO Max and I was like, oh, let's see like what they got on offer. And I'm scrolling through the things and I'm picking out all the stuff I like. And then I see a triplicate of movies that I did not expect to be there called Hanzo.
Oh,
What?
God. Well, they used to be on Hulu back in the day, so I'm not shocked by anything.
Well, I, for one,
At
am
one
happy.
point, they were in the Criterion Collection.
Yeah.
That was the weirdest thing is when they went on Hulu years ago, and I'm watching a show, and I had the with ads subscription at the time, and so Hanzo, I don't know if it's still in the Criterion Collection, but it was, and all the Criterion Collection at the time went on Hulu, and I'm watching this ad, it's like the Criterion Collection, and it's like this shot here, and then Hanzo the Razor is just on screen, and I'm like, but trying to present it as artsy, and I'm like, the man fucks a bag of rice in that
A bag
movie
of rice.
at the beginning.
Yeah.
At the beginning of every movie.
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't understand why we're talking about Hanzo the Razor, it's this series of three of samurai films starring the same guy who originally played Zatoichi. And I believe the actor always described it as his favorite character to play, and it's...
Which is horrifying.
But at No Brand Con, it comes up a lot, especially when we've got some longtime attendees in the audience, which I can see a few, because I used to host a midnight screening of the first Hanzo the Razor movie at No Brand Con every year for the first 10 years of this con.
Yeah.
And then I said, I cannot take this anymore.
Yeah. Well, and it used to be a bit of a Rocky Horror-esque affair.
Oh, yeah, no, there are specific
Yeah.
callback lines at certain points.
Yep.
Like
We
you
used to have
you
a bag of Hanzo sticky rice just on the reg table, left with no context other than a post-it note
you
that
have
read
to understand-
Hanzo sticky rice.
this was an 18+ viewing thing. This was it involved getting a room full of 50 people chanting "fuck that rice," and it's not a metaphor.
No, we made it quite literally.
Just if you watch the Hanzo movies, do it with friends and drink.
Yeah.
But also, the entire film is a trigger warning.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Because
it's real bad.
There's a
careful.
lot of non-consensual sexual activity performed by the protagonist. But
It's
which
bad.
is a real delicate balancing act to try to host that, because you have to make sure nobody roots for Hanzo.
Yeah, I was about to say, wasn't that part of why you stopped doing it?
Well,
Was, like,
there's one scene where my solution to dealing with it was to just get up in front of the screen and start screaming, "Why are you watching this movie? Why are you making me watch this movie?
Yep.
Please don't make me keep watching this movie," just to distract from what was happening in the movie.
Yeah.
To be fair,
You have to understand, there's an interior shot. Like, there's a POV shot.
of this Criterion collection.
Criterion Collection.
From like okay, so
Cinema.
I'm not gonna. This is a sponsored episode. Thanks, Point of Insanity Game Studio. But I'm not gonna explain what it's a POV shot of. But I'm pretty sure the way they filmed it was by backlighting a pig intestine and shoving a camera down it. And I'm gonna let you figure out what they were filming.
Turns out Hanzo is half German.
Here's the thing. Before it was
He
in
makes-
Here's the thing. Before they were put it in the Criterion Collection, there was an earlier DVD release. So we used to host it with the Laserdisc, which was the Enemigo translation, which is just also, it is a funny translation.
Beautiful translation.
But there was a worse translation that went out on DVDs. The DVD menus of Hanzo the Razor are a CGI recreation of that shot going back and forth. I never used the DVDs to show because I didn't like the translation as much, but I did occasionally pop them on just to demonstrate that menu afterwards to be like, this is...
No, really, I'm not lying.
I'm not lying, this is real. But then also, when it went to the Criterion Collection, I'm like, how is this the same...
Well, you know, the one of the best side notes about Hanzo, though, was it made me appreciate, like, a legitimately great anime more. The hip-hop samurai pastiche, Samurai Champloo,
Oh, yeah.
features not one, but 2 episodes where there is a character
Yeah, that's
named
right.
Monzo the Saw,
Yes.
who is clearly...
Hanzo the Razor.
He is
Oh, yeah.
styled to look like and has the same mannerisms
Oh, yeah.
as Hanzo the Razor.
Yep.
And the first time we see him, he is clearly having a good time with himself. That's all so it's...
Yeah.
It is... So Hanzo is
But-
in 2 episodes of this legitimately classic anime.
So Hanzo the Razor. So there are 3 movies in this series. There are 3 movies in this series. The first one is kind of so bad it's good. The third one is actually a half decent samurai movie. The second one should just never be watched by
Isn't that-
human beings.
Which one is titled Who's Got the Gold?
That's
Because
the
I think
third
that's
one.
a good title for a movie.
That's the third movie. That's
Hanzo
the third
3,
movie.
Who's Got the Gold?
Who's got
It's
the
a
gold?
good question.
Yeah.
It's a good question.
Who's got it?
Who does have
Yeah,
the
it's.
gold?
I mean, we're talking like it's. So you have to understand the training sequence. There is a training sequence in this movie, and every one of the movies has the training sequence at the beginning, and it involves. It involves this particular body part of him that is referred to colloquially, euphemistically as the longest arm of the law.
Yep. Yep.
And
I didn't expect this to turn into Nerd in Time presents Why We Don't Do Hanzo Anymore.
I mean,
We don't talk about Hanzo, no.
but in each film,
Straight to hell.
in a handbasket.
I'm writing the rest of that song in my head now, and it's awful.
So
Yeah. Well, the training sequence with the longest arm of the law is quite violent.
he's gotta build up that stamina.
Doing up.
He's
So you something to I don't know if equate it with, it's probably not the right words. So Shaolin monks would often like hurt themselves in order to like make themselves stronger. Kind of the same mindset.
kind of the same mindset. Hanzo's a tenderizer. Okay, we shouldn't continue this.
all right. This is an episode that a game company paid us to advertise their product to you fine folks, both listening at home and in the room.
And you know, you expect us to get in trouble, but then they announced their new Hanzo expansion, and
No.
it's just...
Hanzo's waiting for you in
That
the
was
back
such a
rooms.
bad turn of phrase. What was I
What are you
thinking?
doing?
Why am I awake? Okay, one other thing on HBO Max.
Yeah.
Have to point it out because the new season just dropped. It was very good. If you haven't watched Close Enough, do me a solid, and after you watch Our Flag Means Death, more important, watch Close Enough. There are 3 seasons. It's an adult cartoon by the guy who did Regular Show. It's a semi-autobiographical, but way too silly to be fully autobiographical story about being a broke cartoonist, living with his wife, daughter, and 2 of their divorced friends because they can't afford a house to themselves. And it is very silly. It's very funny. It might be one of the most relatable broke-ass millennial shows I've ever seen. I highly, highly recommend Close Enough. In 3 seasons, I haven't not seen nearly enough people talking about how good it is.
Okay.
Also Jason Mitsoukis is in it.
All right, so we should probably go to the mailbag now.
Oh, yeah.
You're gonna go.
Because we have mailbag. So, Nick, we have a very long letter here from the Random Ramblings man.
Okay,
you read
this is
it.
mine. Okay. Subject: back in action.
This is okay. So to introduce the segment, this is the mailbag. We haven't done one for a little bit, but we people send us things and we read them out loud. I did not pre-screen these. I just opened them up after looking at who sent them.
Subject: back in action from our regular The Random Ramblings man. Boy, it's been a long, long, long time since I've sent one of these, huh?
Yes.
Greetings, fellow nerds with ties, and a hearty welcome back to the con scene. Since I can't join you in celebration myself, crap damn it, this contribution to the mailbag will have to do. I hope you and everyone else attending has had a happy, fun, and above all, safe weekend by the time you read this. And since I'm here, kinda, I might as well share some thoughts on what have become the best and worst films I've seen so far in 2022. And both in the same week, no less. What can I say? It was a really, really good week. First, the best. The film in question is titled Everything Everywhere All at Once, written and directed by Daniel Kwan and Daniel Schneidhart, aka Daniels. This was an absolutely fantastic experience to have and to share with an audience that was clearly as receptive and enraptured to what was on screen as I was. I'm staying mum on the story and plot details because I don't want to give too much away, but what I can say is that Everything Everywhere All at Once is one of the most imaginative, hilarious, heartbreaking, heartwarming, life-affirming, and gonzo mind-screw films I've seen in a long time. With amazing performances from Michelle Yeoh, Keihu Kwan, Stephanie Su, Jamie Lee Curtis, James Hong, among others. Whether it's in theaters or on streaming, give Everything Everywhere All at Once a watch when you can. I don't think you'll be disappointed. Now the worst. That dishonor goes to Morbius. The latest contribution to Sony's Spider-Man universe, a shared universe no one asked for and needed except the shareholders. But whereas the 2 Venom films are of the so bad it's fun, hilarious
They're
variety,
not bad at all. I fight people on that.
I love
They're
Venom.
amazing. They're
I
like
love-
that on purpose, so it's not so bad it's good. They're like that on purpose.
Morbius
They're great.
is repellently mediocre, so bland and uninspired and such an eyesore to look at and listen to that I genuinely say that the best part of the film screening was the teaser trailer for the now further delayed Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. This was neither a good superhero film nor a good vampire film, and once again I have to ask, who thought putting Jared Leto in another comic book adaptation was a good idea? If a film worse than Morbius comes onto my radar, it will be fascinating to see how its failures contrast against the first contender for worst film of 2022. Anyway, that's all I've got for this mailbag. I don't know when I'll send another one, but when I do, I trust it'll be a good one. Till next time, fellow nerds, stay random.
So here's the thing about I haven't seen Morbius yet, I will admit, but if you said, hey, Sony made a weird Spider-Man related movie about something, I'm not going to tell you what, but it stars Tom Hardy, and then they said they made one about Jared Leto, I would expect the exact same reaction to those movies as people seem to be having.
Yeah.
Because Jared Leto is kind of a mess.
Yeah.
I honestly, in things I would rather do than watch Jared Leto movies, like, I don't know, drop a hammer on my foot, watch Transformers 5 again, drop another hammer on my foot.
But, like, I have heard, like, I think almost everyone that I know of that has seen Everywhere, Everything All at Once has really, really loved it.
Yeah, I haven't gotten a chance
Like,
to see it yet.
I've
I'm so
only heard
jazzed for it.
amazing reviews for it.
Love Michelle Yeoh.
So that's very exciting and interesting.
I just can't help thinking that seeing Sean Orange sitting out here in the audience that he looks like Tom Scott's stunt double. Like, it's with the mask on. Like,
Yeah.
with the mask off, I know for a fact that Sean does not resemble Tom Scott. But
Yeah.
in the exact right colored shirt,
Yeah.
with the mask on,
Yeah, with the graying hair.
yeah,
If the hair were a little straighter, maybe.
maybe. Well, no, but he's got a little bit of a wispy curl. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, anyway, so we got another letter in the mailbag. Again, if you want to take this one.
Oh, I guess.
Benjamin.
I made Nick read the long one.
Oh, okay.
It's true.
Well, this one is from friend of the show, Archimize. And its subject is Happy No Brand Con.
Happy No Brand Con. It's like the most. Okay, so I have to point out that we actually have a bigger crowd than either of Sean's podcasts got.
Yeah, suck it, Sean.
I'm sorry. You had people watching live at home.
I wasn't up against you weren't up against the cosplay contest.
Your second one wasn't. I'm sorry. To be fair, I think I retained most of your audience.
Yeah.
Including the person who ran the panel.
But anywho,
Anyway, sorry.
it's okay. Dear nerds who also wear ties.
Again, we forgot to wear ties today.
Yep. Hi, gang. It's been a long time, and I hope you're doing well and having an excellent no-brand convention. Hello, live audience.
Hey, everybody, are you guys having a great con? Yay! They're all tired. You guys, it's late, and it's...
Not an excuse.
Look, let
Yell
me-
things for my best friend. Do it.
Thanks. Did it. Okay, moving on. Wanted to write in today to see what anime you each
Note
enjoyed.
that neither one of us are our next best friend. Just this person.
Okay, legally, Archimize and I are on each other's wedding certificates. We were witnesses to each other.
Sure.
That means that
Yeah.
legally I get to borrow Archimize for hijinks. That's just a law. It's in the Bible.
Can I read the letter?
Yes.
Maybe. I stopped.
Wanted to write in today to see what anime you each enjoy that has to deal with unreasonable weather, because it's April and still snowing. Have a great rest of the con. Archimize. P.S. Hi, Shameless Otaku. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Can't wait to play Escape from Aliens from Outer Space with you and Mr. Scott again.
Seamus didn't come to the panel.
It did not.
He was here today.
He was sleepy.
Everybody, I need everyone to be collectively disappointed with Shameless Otaku.
Do it. Good job.
Thanks.
So,
Bad
anime
weather.
with
I couldn't get
bad
them to
weather.
cheer, but I could get them to be disappointed. I just want to point that out. If you want to pass that back. God, what am I even
bad
thinking
weather.
about weather in anime? I don't think I've ever critically thought about weather in anime.
The obvious answer is the new Makoto Shinkai movie, but like,
I'll give you one.
All in weathering with you.
yeah, the one that's literally about the girl whose mood affects the weather.
Yeah.
Castle in the Sky.
Oh,
Okay.
Laputa.
Because the castle in the sky is in a giant thunderstorm.
I was going to say
Yeah.
that classic anime, The Perfect Storm, starring Mark Wahlberg.
Oh, yeah. Yup. Classic anime.
Yeah. I mean, it is a harem series, so I don't know what I expected. I don't know. Like, again, you know, like, he's
talking about weather in anime, and I don't believe that, like, I'm sure that, like...
No, there's definitely anime where weather ties in. I'm just having...
I mean, climate change is a major background plot factor in Pat labor.
That's a strong argument. The episode of Pokemon where Ash gets his Charmander, that was scary to me as a small child. I was quite concerned.
Actually, now I'm thinking about in Pat labor, there's an ongoing thing about climate change and the rising sea levels, and it's like this background story thing throughout the whole Pat labor series.
And it all goes back to Pat labor. It all
goes back
to Pat
It is.
labor.
It is fundamentally one of my favorite shows that was ever made. It's great, and we all want to be Noah Izumi.
Yep.
Mecha Brooklyn Nine-Nine is very good. I agree.
Before Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah, but I gotta sell it to people. It's like when I try to sell
It's like if
people
Tank Police was good.
But it's like when I try to sell people on Super Dimension Cavalry Southern Cross, I don't go, oh, it inspired this thing you like. I call it Legally Blonde with Mecha. And then people finally watch Super Dimension Cavalry Southern Cross like they should.
No, but
Should they?
Okay, Ellie from Legally Blonde in charge of a mech squadron. That is the premise of the show. Go watch it. It's awesome. It's what the second season of Robotech was made from.
Trae, would you consider Ranma 1/2 an anime with, Rain?
Well, I
as
mean,
a-
Rain
as a bit of a
becomes
plot
Rain
point?
becomes the plot.
Yeah.
A factor when especially when it's comedically convenient.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I could see that.
Yeah.
There are a few inconvenient moments with the kettle bearing tree girl or the line from the show. It's cost.
Yeah. Of course you know. Of course you know. Yep.
What? Gee, who would have thought? Might there a reason why Ranma 1/2 is a fundamental early anime for a lot of people?
No, I'm trying to tease you.
Okay.
All I'm saying is that the other day I realized that Rumiko Takahashi is to queer weebs what Lin-Manuel Miranda is to theater kids, and I haven't been able to look back since I had that connection.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that sounds
That
right. That
tracks.
sounds right. That
Yeah.
tracks. Yeah.
Do we have any, before we wrap up, do we have any audience?
Do we have any audience thoughts
Yeah.
before I do the Vomit Hat Steve challenge, which we're not doing? I mean, we're gonna do the Hall of Awesome part, but not because I'm not gonna have a physical book. Do we have anything from the audience, Minda?
Have you seen the Nick Cage movie? Like, I saw a trailer for it. It's like, that looks like
Oh,
it's
yeah.
No, I
It's
have
very
not.
meta.
I have not seen it yet. I've been doing this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like I've been seeing that, like, it's out. And it's like, that's either going to be great or terrible. I don't know which.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
The last time I was in a theater was Birds of Prey, so it's been
A while.
it's been a very long
The
time.
last movie I saw in theaters was Sonic.
Yeah, I think.
Well, I've seen a bunch of movies at the drive-in, so that's where I've gotten away with music. So that's opening up again, so I should be able to see some movies
I
again.
did see a couple movies in theaters last year when COVID was, like, in the dip. But, like, Birds of Prey was my last movie in theaters for, like, a year and a half.
All right. So this is the thing. So I just want to talk about this real quick. So we're at No Brand Con. Everyone is masked here, right?
Yes.
I have been saying this for years, though, that everybody at every convention looks exactly the same. I usually sing it, everybody at every convention looks exactly the same. Because I used to do conventions also in Indiana, and I kept always feeling like I was recognizing people from Wisconsin. And I'd always like take a second look and no, that's a completely different person. One time it actually was Jeffro, but the rest of the time it was a completely different person. But right now, with everybody masked, people I have known for decades will walk up to me and I will not know it is them until after they start talking, especially since I haven't seen a lot of them in person for like 2 years.
Well, and especially because, like, I know for a fact that, like, you have a hard time recognizing people in cosplay,
I
in and
do.
out of cosplay, like the same person.
Oh, yeah, no.
And so, like, adding the masks just makes that so much worse.
I'm 6 months on T blockers, so I have had a lot of people have no idea who I am.
Yeah.
Which has been awkward.
I have a bunch of trans friends who have been transitioning over
Oh yeah, no,
the
yeah.
break, and I'm just like, you're a totally different
Very
person, but you're still the
confusing.
same person.
Oh yeah, no, it's no, it's
And
Tessa.
it's just gotta get used to.
Like, that is like a pandemic thing now.
But it also doesn't help that though, like even the people who look roughly the same as they did the last time I saw them, like discount Tom Scott here in the second row. I don't immediately recognize until they talk.
Yeah, why aren't you out like talking about the rocks or something?
Yeah. The local rock formation.
local rock formation.
The bluffs
I
by
have
the
no
Dell.
Come on.
idea who Tom Scott is.
We gotta show you. It's great.
Okay, so
I
I'm gonna.
don't
Oh, yeah,
know.
bring it up.
All right, so he's a YouTuber. He's a
Yeah,
British YouTuber.
British YouTuber.
You're a British YouTuber.
And he like goes around and like explains cool stuff.
So
That's,
he doesn't look like him with the mask off, but like it's.
He looks
It's
like the
not
Diet Right version of H. Bomber guy. What are you talking about?
No.
No, he's a lovely man.
You know, he's actually very funny, but it's.
He can still be Diet Right is fine.
But he's also always wearing the red shirt, so it's
Yeah.
kind of a. It's so if you just like cover up the face, where you can only see the eyes.
Yeah, stunt double. Think
Stunt double. Stunt double.
You know. I mean, we might have to lighten the hair a bit.
You know,
more, but
I'm glad this audio podcast is sponsored by a wonderful company, and that someone has paid for us to now just sit here, describe over audio what another person on the Nerd and Tie Podcast Network looks like in vague resemblance to a YouTuber who has nothing to do with any of us and will hopefully never listen to this show.
we're looking to a picture.
Yeah, I'm like holding up a picture to my other
Holding up a
co-host,
picture.
and I'm not even showing it to the audience.
Yeah, they have no idea.
The audience cannot see what I was showing to the other people on stage.
I mean, it was Tom Scott, but
It was Tom Scott. Google Tom Scott.
Tom Scott. Go watch
Imagine
his
Tom
videos. They're
Scott
great.
in a standard like blue disposable mask, and that is Sean Course at this moment.
Yeah.
Only slightly thinner.
For the record,
Sean is thinner, not Tom Scott.
I don't see it, but that's...
Well, you don't suffer my problem with faces.
I suffer different problems with faces. Mostly that I have a collection of them.
Oh, come
It's
on.
a whole
Let's
thing.
not. We
Wow.
don't need to get into face
how
off
did we,
about
okay,
this.
I just want to point out. Can I just point out that somehow we talked about Hanzo the Razor for like 10 minutes, and this is how it got made weird.
But Carl.
Okay, so we
Yeah,
should.
stop me before I keep
Oh, we should
quoting
have a
llamas with
Face-Off
hats.
podcast. Where we just
No.
talk about the
Face-
movie Face Off.
No.
Again, I'm doing hand gestures. This is an audio podcast.
Why are you doing this?
So we're not going to do the Vomit Hat Steve challenge this month, only because it would require me to open up a book and look at it. And I don't know if you know this, but when there's like more than a dozen people in the room, if I pick up a book and open it up and read from it, it's really easy to guess what book I'm reading from. It really doesn't work the way it normally does on an audio show, but because one of the benefits of the Hall of Awesome is I read your name aloud every episode, here are the current members of the Hall of Awesome. Arkham Zero, Rin Innocenti, Cheesy McDamu, Krista, Slithery D, Shameless Ataka, The Random Ramblings Man, Core Fan, Capito, Chris Graham, Lily Source, Paper Godzilla, Kavzi, The Minnesota Librarian, Sean Orange, Keith Shizuo, Sakura Sunset, Joel Kreisman, Patrick Delahanty, Wonderland Hearts, and Megsy Sass Council.
You mispronounced one of the names there. Sean Orange should actually be pronounced as Tom Scott Stump Double.
Okay, I thought you were gonna because I did stutter over like Shameless
No.
Attacker.
No.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay.
We should just rename that one to Tom Scott Stunt Double.
Anyways, with that, we should start wrapping up the show.
I suppose.
Remember remember, if you would like to ever support the show through a sponsorship or something else, you can do that by going to nerdandtide.com and click on the sponsor stuff.
No promise as to what the content is going to be.
Zero promises about what the content is
Good
going to be.
luck.
Remember, if you'd like to support the show financially, I have a Patreon at patreon.com/TREGORN. Nick's got a Patreon at patreon.com/NickIzumi. And Gen sells stuff as Ocelot Dude Designs. And in fact, actually, the people in the room can find Gen stuff for sale tomorrow in the Artist Alley here at No Brand Con. All this isn't going to come out for the audio listeners until after the con's over, so Just go to Etsy.
Yeah.
And 2 booths over, you can get stuff from my partner too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right, and so I'm Trae Dorn.
I'm Nick Kazumi.
I'm getting proc.
And remember, you can always follow the show on social media at Nerd and Tie at Twitter. We are nerdandtie.tumblr.com because, yes, we're still on there. And facebook.com/nerdandtie. And remember, in your hearts, in your minds, in those places that you find deep down in the dark when you don't think anyone else is watching you, Sean Orange is. He is watching you, but pretending to film a Tom Scott video. He's going to tell you about that bridge.
He's gonna tell you about that bridge.
He's going to tell you about that bridge.
Yeah. It's a cool bridge.
It's a good bridge.
It's a good
Keep
bridge.
on spocking in the free world.
But only if you're on like a cool bridge and you're
Yeah.
wearing that red t-shirt and
Yeah.
you're telling people about like what a cool bridge it is.
And apologizing for the wind noise in your microphone.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Actually,
Because
I'd
it's
like
windy
to,
on that bridge.
I would like to say I would like to apologize for the mask noise on this episode for us because we're all masked and my beard keeps rubbing against my mask and I can hear it in the monitors and I'm going to try to edit that out as much as possible, but
Oh,
some of it's going to make it
sorry.
in. Because this is the life we live. These are the places we are. These are the things we do and believe in the dark. And trust me, audience who can't hear the background music, this feels very moving with the synth and the voice of Vomit Hat Steve echoing behind us. That's right. He was here the whole time. Just only in your ears.
That's terrifying, you know.
Steve's in your ears right now. And so am I. And so are all of us. Everybody make some noise. Be in people's ears. I didn't even have to use the fake applause button I have. Which is that. Oh dear. I'm hitting stop.